This sign is a yield sign, b school crossing sign, c stop sign. A yield sign. A downward-facing triangular sign is always a yield sign. Drivers must be prepared to slow down or stop when approaching a yield sign. If you are driving on the interstate and pass your exit, you should a quickly cut across traffic to make your turn, b make a U-turn to go back to the exit, c continue driving and use the next exit, d put your vehicle in reverse to go back to the exit, c continue driving and use the next exit. Don't make a last-minute turn into an exit. If you pass your exit, you must go to the next one. This sign means a stop ahead, b buggy warning, c limited parking, d do not block intersection. A stop ahead. Warning signs prepare drivers for upcoming road conditions and hazards and are usually yellow with black markings. This sign tells drivers that there is an upcoming stop sign and that they should prepare to come to a complete stop before proceeding. A bicyclist who doesn't obey traffic laws? A is in the right because bicyclists don't have to obey traffic laws. B can be ticketed. C will always receive a warning from law enforcement. D will have their bicycle impounded. B can be ticketed. All bicyclists have the same rights, duties, and responsibilities as drivers of motor vehicles. Motorists and bicyclists who do not obey traffic laws can be ticketed.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
When may you proceed through an intersection that has a stop sign but no stop line or crosswalk? A. After slowing down to verify that there is no cross traffic. B. After coming to a complete stop and verifying that it is safe to proceed. C. After you have stopped at least 20 feet prior to the intersection. D. After slowing down to a speed of 10 miles per hour. B. After coming to a complete stop and verifying that it is safe to proceed. Stop before the stop line or crosswalk at any intersection that is controlled by a stop sign. If there is a stop sign but no stop line or crosswalk, stop before entering the intersection and proceed when it is safe to do so. When driving in fog, it is best to drive with A. High beam headlights, B. Low beam headlights, C. Four-way flashers, B. Low beam headlights. Use your low beam headlights when driving in fog, rain, or snow. High beam lights can reflect off the weather conditions, lowering visibility even more. You are merging onto an interstate highway. You should A. Select a safe gap and merge into the lane of traffic. B. Merge across two lanes at once. C. Always stop before entering the highway. A. Select a safe gap and merge into the lane of traffic. Anytime you want to merge with other drivers, you need to find a gap large enough for you to safely enter into the flow of traffic. You should not stop on the entrance ramp to an interstate highway unless there are no gaps into which you may safely merge. You are turning onto a two-lane road divided by a broken yellow line. You know immediately that A. You are on a two-way road. B. You are on a one-way road. C. The road is under repair. D. You must stay to the left of the broken yellow lines. A. You are on a two-way road. Yellow centerlines are used to separate traffic moving in opposite directions. Broken lines may be crossed to pass slower-moving traffic when it is safe to do so. To improve visibility lowered by rain or fog, drivers should use their A. Low beam headlights. B. High beam headlights. C. Parking lights. A. Low beam headlights. Low beam headlights should be used when driving in rainy or foggy weather. Even if they do little to help you see, low beams will make it easier for others to see you. When turning left at an intersection. A. You should always yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. B. Oncoming traffic and pedestrians should yield to you. C. You should never yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. A. You should always yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. When turning left at an intersection, yield the right-of-way to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. Once the intersection is clear and applicable signals allow, you may complete the turn. If you are going to stop or slow down when another driver does not expect it. A. Blow your horn constantly. B. Wave your left arm out the window. C. Quickly tap the brake pedal several times. C. Quickly tap the brake pedal several times. If you are going to stop or slow down at a place where another driver may not expect it, quickly tap your brake pedal 3 or 4 times. Your brake lights will indicate to other drivers that you plan to slow down. What is the maximum speed limit in residential and business areas where there are no posted speed limits? A. 15 miles per hour. B. 25 miles per hour. C. 35 miles per hour. D. 45 miles per hour. B. 25 miles per hour. Unless otherwise posted, the speed limit on residential and business streets is 25 miles per hour. This sign means A. Slow down, curving road ahead. B. Slow down and do not use your brakes. C. Slow down, slippery when wet. C. Slow down, slippery when wet. This sign warns that the road ahead becomes slippery when wet. When driving on a slippery surface, such as snow or ice. A. Shift to a low gear before going down steep hills. B. Maintain traction by following other vehicles closely. C. Pump your brakes to keep them from freezing. A. Shift to a low gear before going down steep hills. To prevent skidding on slippery surfaces, you should shift to a low gear before going down a steep hill. You should also follow farther behind the vehicle in front of you than you normally would. Quick stops should be avoided. Unless you have anti-lock brakes, pump the brakes to slow or stop. On the freeway, you see a merging traffic sign. You should A. Honk at incoming traffic. B. Always remain at your present speed. C. Speed up to avoid congesting traffic. D. Move to another lane, if safe, to let traffic enter. D. Move to another lane, if safe, to let traffic enter. When on a roadway with 2 or more lanes, you should make room for entering vehicles. If there is no one driving next to you, move over one lane. In a vehicle equipped with airbags, the safest place for children age 12 and under to ride is in A. the front seat, B. the back seat, C. the bed of a pickup truck, B. the back seat. While airbags provide supplemental protection for adults in the event of a crash, they pose a severe safety risk for children. Anyone age 12 or under should sit in the back seat of a vehicle with airbags. When passing another vehicle, you should return to your original lane when A. you can see both headlights of the passed vehicle in your rearview mirror, B. you have cleared the front bumper of the passed vehicle, C. you are 50 feet in front of the passed vehicle. A. you can see both headlights of the passed vehicle in your rearview mirror. When passing another vehicle, move back into your original lane only when you can see the passed vehicle's headlights in your rearview mirror. This ensures that you will have enough room to safely pull back in front of the other vehicle. You should allow extra space between your vehicle and the vehicle ahead of you when A. your car is cold, B. there are no vehicles behind you, C. you are following a motorcycle, D. you are listening to the radio, C. you are following a motorcycle. You should allow for a lengthened following distance in front of your vehicle when following a motorcycle. The additional space is needed to ensure that you do not hit the motorcycle rider if they fall off. You may pass a vehicle when A. you are on a hill or curve, B. you are on a road with a solid line next to your lane, C. you are on a road with a broken line next to your lane, C. you are on a road with a broken line next to your lane. A single broken line indicates that drivers may cross from either lane to change lanes. Dashed yellow lines alongside solid yellow lines indicate that passing is permitted from the lane next to the broken line, but not from the lane next to the solid line. Only change lanes when it is safe to do so. When driving in fog, it is best to drive with A. high beam headlights, B. low beam headlights, C. four-way flashers, B. low beam headlights. Use low beam headlights when driving in fog, rain, or snow. High beams may reflect off of the weather and make visibility even poorer. When passing other vehicles, A. check your mirrors and blind spots, B. honk your horn at least 3 times, C. re-enter your lane within 10 feet of the passed vehicle, D. there is no need to signal. A. check your mirrors and blind spots. Before passing another vehicle, check your mirrors and blind spots. Before changing lanes, activate the appropriate turn signal. Re-enter the lane when you can see the front of the passed vehicle in your rearview mirror. You are driving in the right lane of a multi-lane highway and want to move into the left lane. You should A. look in your rearview mirror for traffic behind you before changing lanes, B. look over your left shoulder for traffic in your blind spot before changing lanes, C. look in your side mirror for traffic and turn on your directional signal, D. all of the above. D. all of the above. Before changing lanes, you should always verify that there are no other vehicles in the lane you want to enter by checking your mirrors and looking over your shoulder in the direction you plan to move. You should signal every time you change lanes. This road sign means A. No right turn. B. Drive only in the direction of the arrow. C. Curve ahead. B. Drive only in the direction of the arrow. Regulatory signs provide notice to road users of traffic laws that must be obeyed. Where this sign is present, drivers must drive in the direction indicated by the arrow. When approaching railroad tracks, you should A. Look, listen, slow down, and be prepared to stop. B. Speed up to cross the tracks before the gate is lowered. C. Try to drive around a lowered gate. D. Not pay attention to how many tracks there are to cross. A. Look, listen, slow down, and be prepared to stop. When approaching railroad tracks, you should look, listen, slow down, and be prepared to stop for trains or other vehicles that may be using the rails. When entering the interstate, check for a gap in traffic in the nearest lane, adjust your speed to match traffic, signal, and A. Expect traffic to allow you to proceed into the lane, since you have the right of way. B. Merge carefully into the gap. C. Wait for the lane to clear before merging. B. Merge carefully into the gap. Before merging into interstate traffic, you should identify a gap, accelerate to the speed of traffic, and signal. Merge into the gap when it is safe to do so. Be alert to other traffic and do not expect other drivers to clear the lane. You are driving in the left lane and want to move into the right lane. You should A. Check your mirrors, signal, and look over your left shoulder for other vehicles before changing lanes. B. Check your mirrors, signal, and look over your right shoulder for other vehicles before changing lanes. C. Check your mirrors, signal, and look over both shoulders for other vehicles before changing lanes. D. Check your mirrors, signal, and change lanes. B. Check your mirrors, signal, and look over your right shoulder for other vehicles before changing lanes. When changing lanes, you should check your vehicle's blind spots by looking over your shoulder in the direction that you want to move. Always check your mirrors and turn on your directional signal before beginning a lane change. Railroad crossings should always be considered A. Safe to cross, as it is unlikely that a train will be coming. B. Dangerous. C. Safe locations to park a car. D. A place where it is required to stop. B. Dangerous. Railroad crossings are always dangerous. Drivers should always look and listen for trains approaching from either direction on all railroad tracks. Always follow the directions indicated by signs, signals, and flaggers. Never proceed past a railroad crossing until you are certain it is safe to do so. A speed limit is A. The maximum or minimum legal speed you can travel on a road under dangerous conditions. B. The maximum or minimum legal speed you can travel on a road under ideal conditions. C. The suggested speed to travel on a road under ideal conditions. D. None of the above. B. The maximum or minimum legal speed you can travel on a road under ideal conditions. A speed limit is the maximum or minimum legal speed you can travel on a road under ideal conditions. You may drive more slowly than the posted speed, but it is illegal to drive any faster. you must drive more slowly where signs or signs indicate a school zone or work zone speed limit. If conditions such as road construction or bad weather make the posted speed unsafe, drive under the speed limit. If you have a probationary license or instructional permit, you can use your cell phone while driving. A. If you are just answering a call. B. As long as you don't text. C. When you are reporting an emergency. D. At any time. C. When you are reporting an emergency. If you have a probationary license or instructional permit, using a cell phone while driving in Wisconsin is against the law. The only exception to this is if you must use your cell phone to report an emergency. The law requires you to stay at least how far behind an active snowplow with its red or amber lights on? A. 200 feet. B. 300 feet. C. 400 feet. D. 500 feet. A. 200 feet. On roads with a posted speed limit of 35 miles per hour or more, the law requires drivers to stay at least 200 feet behind a working snowplow when its red or amber lights are on. When passing on the left of a vehicle, it is safe to move back into the right lane. A. After about 3 seconds. B. When you can no longer see the vehicle over your right shoulder. C. When you can see the front of the vehicle in your rearview mirror. C. When you can see the front of the vehicle in your rearview mirror. When passing another vehicle on its left, you may move back into the right lane when the headlights of the passed vehicle can be seen in your rearview mirror. Always signal before changing lanes. Continuous hard braking on ice and snow often. A. Helps you stop faster. B. Locks the front wheels of a vehicle, causing a loss of steering. C. Keeps the brakes from freezing. B. Locks the front wheels of a vehicle, causing a loss of steering. Continuous hard braking on snow and ice can result in the locking of the front brake, causing a loss of steering. To avoid the need for excessive braking, make sure to maintain an appropriate speed for conditions. A red and white triangular sign at an intersection means A. Slow down if an emergency vehicle is approaching. B. Look both ways as you cross the intersection. C. Always come to a full stop at the intersection. D. Slow down and be prepared to stop if necessary. D. Slow down and be prepared to stop if necessary. A triangular red and white yield sign means that you must decrease speed as you approach an intersection and yield the right of way to any vehicles or pedestrians in the intersection. You must be prepared to stop if conditions require it. Various traffic control devices in construction and maintenance work areas are the color A. Red. B. Orange. C. Yellow. B. Orange. Orange warning signs are used in and around work zones. Use special caution when you see orange signs, cones, or barriers on a roadway. When you are facing a green light and there are pedestrians in the intersection. A. You must yield the right of way to pedestrians. B. You have the right of way over pedestrians. C. Pedestrians must wait for you to cross. A. You must yield the right of way to pedestrians. When facing a green light, you must yield to pedestrians and vehicles already in the intersection. Drivers must yield to pedestrians when turning on a steady green signal. Blood alcohol content (BAC) depends on each of the following, except A. Your body weight. B. How much you drink. C. How much time passes between drinks. D. How physically fit you are. D. How physically fit you are. Your blood alcohol content (BAC) depends on how much alcohol you drink, how much time passes between drinks, and your weight. It is not affected by the type of alcoholic beverages you drink, your level of physical fitness, or how well you can hold your liquor. Tailgating other drivers, driving too closely to their rear bumper. A. Can frustrate other drivers and make them angry. B. Cannot result in a traffic citation. C. Reduces collisions by preventing being cut off. A. Can frustrate other drivers and make them angry. Tailgating is a common behavior that can lead to aggressive driving, and so it should be avoided. Drivers may face legal consequences for driving unsafely. When in a travel lane on the roadway. A. You may stop to drop off passengers. B. You may stop to look up an address. C. You may make a U-turn or back up if you get on the wrong entrance ramp of the freeway. D. Don't stop for any reason. Keep moving until you can safely pull off the road. D. Don't stop for any reason. Keep moving until you can safely pull off the road. You should not stop in a travel lane for any reason. Instead, keep moving until you can safely pull off of the road. If you miss your turn or exit, do not back up. Go to the next turn or exit or where you can safely turn around. When two vehicles arrive to an intersection at the same time, which one has the right of way when no signs or signals indicate rules? A. The car approaching from the right has the right of way. B. The car approaching from the left has the right of way. C. The car in which the driver sounds his horn first has the right of way. D. The car that is traveling the fastest has the right of way. A. The car approaching from the right has the right of way. At an intersection of two similar roads without a traffic control device, a driver must yield to a vehicle approaching from the right. A broken yellow centerline indicates that A. Passing is not permitted. B. Passing on the right is permitted when the way ahead is clear. C. Passing on the left is permitted when the way ahead is clear. C. Passing on the left is permitted when the way ahead is clear. A broken yellow centerline next to your side of the road indicates that traffic may cross the centerline to pass from your side of the road. If you stop along the road at night, A. Turn off all your lights. B. Use your parking lights only. C. Use your headlights only. D. Turn on your emergency flashers and leave your low beams turned on. D. Turn on your emergency flashers and leave your low beams turned on. If you stop along the road at night, turn on your emergency flashers and leave your low beam headlights turned on. Be sure that other road users will be able to clearly see your vehicle. When driving, how often should you check your rearview mirror for traffic behind you? A. Every 2 to 4 seconds. B. Every 4 to 6 seconds. C. Every 6 to 8 seconds. D. Every 8 to 10 seconds. C. every 6 to 8 seconds. Every 6 to 8 seconds, you should look at your rearview mirror to check on the traffic behind you. A diamond-shaped sign means A. Yield. B. Stop. C. Warning. C. Warning. Diamond-shaped signs are used to warn drivers of special conditions or hazards ahead. They are typically yellow or orange in color. When approaching a steady yellow traffic light, drivers should A. Accelerate to avoid a red light. B. Continue driving, as they have the right of way. C. Slow to a stop, unless they are already within the intersection. D. Check to see what the cars next to them are doing. C. Slow to a stop, unless they are already within the intersection. A steady yellow traffic light indicates that a red light is about to appear. Stop unless you are already within the intersection. Distracted driving may be caused by A. Eating, drinking, or smoking. B. Talking or texting on a cellular phone. C. Changing a radio station or CD. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. It is estimated that drivers make 200 decisions for every mile traveled, making it vital that drivers focus their full attention on the task of driving. Performing any additional task can create a dangerous distraction. You exit the freeway on a ramp that curves downhill. You should A. Slow to a safe speed before the curve. B. Slow to the posted speed limit for the freeway. C. Wait until you have entered the curve to begin braking. A. Slow to a safe speed before the curve. You should always slow down before entering a curve. You may not be able to see hazards ahead, and braking in a curve may cause your vehicle to skid. A vehicle hydroplanes when the A. Windshield wipers cannot keep the windshield clear of rain. B. Tires lose contact with the road surface. C. Spray from a large truck reduces visibility. B. Tires lose contact with the road surface. When a vehicle is moving too quickly on a wet surface, the tires can lose all contact with the road surface, causing the vehicle to glide along on the surface of the water. This is referred to as hydroplaning. A driver who is taking a non-prescription drug should A. Read the labels on the drug before driving. B. Drink alcohol instead. C. Continue to drive regardless of any warning labels. D. Drive only during daylight hours. A. Read the labels on the drug before driving. Many over-the-counter medications can affect your ability to drive safely. If you take medication, even a remedy for colds or allergies that is not prescribed, check the label for warnings about its effects. If you are unsure, ask your doctor or pharmacist about driving while on the medication. This sign means A. Curves ahead. B. Divided highway starts. C. Divided highway ends. C. Divided highway ends. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. This sign warns that the divided highway ends ahead. Prepare to change lanes or shift lane position. On a freeway, you realize you missed your turn or exit. You should A. Make the turn quickly from your lane of travel. B. Stop and back up. C. Continue driving until you reach the next turn, exit, or other location where you can safely turn around. D. Signal other drivers to stop so you can turn. C. Continue driving until you reach the next turn, exit, or other location where you can safely turn around. If you miss your turn or exit, do not back up, but go on to the next turn or exit where you can safely turn around. It is illegal to back up on a shoulder or a freeway.